Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a hard act to follow, but I'll try my best, and I hope I don't put anybody to sleep. What the Archbishop had talked about, and you saw in the video, was the concept of the Cathedral Center. Cathedral Center, as you heard, has three parts to it, basically, on this whole block, and that's the glebe, the cathedral, and what we're calling the development project, and that's what we're here basically tonight to tell you a bit more about. What we've done to date is to fully renovate one part of that in the glebe, and that project has been completed. On the cathedral side, we have been doing a fair bit of work, one of which is to fully renovate the hall. I don't know if any of you remember what it used to look like, but I would say as a gathering place right now, that has been very successful and allows us to meet here this evening. We've also been doing some significant improvements to the cathedral, which involve upgrade or continued maintenance to bring the organ back in place. We've converted our oil to natural gas. We've put a new sound system in the cathedral. We've done some refurbishment in the Marian Chapel, to the sanctuary, and so on. So we've been working hard at that and are continuing to work at the improvements to the interior part of the cathedral. Also, what we are doing is establishing the St. Mary's Cathedral Foundation. That is being in the process of setting up, and its purpose or mandate is to develop the funding strategy and to raise the funds necessary to provide for the ongoing support of the cathedral. And that's very important because in 2011, based on our look at the possibility of a capital campaign, we did a feasibility study. And that feasibility study indicated that the support was there if we wanted to go forward with a capital campaign. But before we do that, we need to look at some of the major pieces of work in the refurbishment or the major refurbishment of the cathedral. Everything from a new lighting system, new heating, electrical, and plumbing, paint job for the entire cathedral, to fix the wood and furnishings, to redo the floor. All of that requires a lot of work. We're working on the detail of that at the moment, costing for that, and then of course to go ahead and do that will require a capital campaign, at least at the moment. We believe it would entail that in order to make that particular thing come to fruition. But tonight we're here to talk to you about how we're proceeding with the third part. And the third part of the Cathedral Center project is a development project. What does that mean? It means, as you saw in the video and heard the Archbishop talk about, is looking at the land behind the Pastoral Center and developing that piece of land. The land on the corner of Spring Garden in Grafton Street, and also in the renovation of the Grafton Street buildings, which we'll recognize there. We believe that a successful Cathedral Center development project would provide dependable, ongoing revenue stream for the Archdiocese, as you heard the Archbishop speak about. And the project in so doing will include a residential, office, and commercial space. It will also provide visible and accessible Archdiocesan offices that will also include the cathedral offices in there. It will include housing for a mixed population, a community meeting space, appropriate parking, and of course, as good neighbors, valuable new architecture contribution to the city's downtown area. What steps have we taken to date as we move forward in the project? It's been going on for some time. In 2006 and 2007, the initial meetings were held with priests, parishioners, government, professionals to determine what could be done on this particular site. We established a set of values that were to be respected as part of the Cathedral Central project, and I believe you have a copy of those in the handouts that you have been given. In 2007, an RFP, a request for proposal, was published, and through a selection process, Rank Incorporated, their proposal was accepted. In 2008, as you heard the Archbishop talk, the concept of Cathedral Center was introduced by him when he was here, when he arrived. In 2008, 2009, meetings were held again with community members, with priests and friends of our faith community to consider what components should be incorporated into the planned development. And with that information, as we move forward, in 2009, a letter of intent was signed with Rank Incorporated. In late 2011, in order to start to move the project and start to coordinate all its different pieces, a Cathedral Center Development Project Coordination Committee, an awful long handle to say that a coordination committee was established to direct the course of the project, of which the Archbishop presides over. In 2012, a design committee was set up and a memorial project committee was set up in order to deal with the specific aspects of the project. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. So some of the major points that required addressing and we're working on at the moment. The first one is obviously establish a means of process for continued public consultation. And part of that is we're working on setting up an advisory committee, which will be members of the faith community working with the Archbishop to advise him on the development as we move forward. And also part of that process, of course, is a communications committee to develop the communication strategy for the project. We also are in the process of establishing a memorial project. And this is important because it will prepare a suitable memorial to give proper respect and honor to those that have been buried in the area. And the committee includes leadership from the Mi'kmaq community, the province, HRM, and this committee has started its work. The design process, well, we've set up a small design committee that will work with the architect and the developer to ensure that our values and our intent, as much as possible, are respected in the design concepts. We also are working on establishing the group that will look after the adaptations approval. And this is where we identify the necessary adaptations to the Grafton Street buildings and of course then to secure the approvals as required to make those happen. Rezoning comes into this as well for the cathedral parking lot so that it becomes part of a commercial zone instead of a downtown heritage core property. As we see it, the parking lot is not a heritage property and therefore as part of this development will necessarily be rezoned to commercial. The design concept, the developer is got our feedback, has got our list of things that we want in the development, and they're working on the design concept at the moment. And when that design concept is finished or prepared, and back to us, then it's our intention then to present that to the community. Then of course, all said and done, once we have all those pieces together, we need to go to HRM for project approval. And right now we have ongoing consultation with HRM in preparation for the final submission that we are about to give. So ladies and gentlemen, that is in a very quick nutshell basically of what we've done. where we are, the bits and pieces that we're putting together.